think we all feel it's been a long day. A beautiful day. This is a gorgeous day of Yom Kippur. But now we all feel tired, spiritually, emotionally, physically exhausted. The more we poured our hearts and made the effort to be intentional, to have kavanah in our prayer, to stay with it, and to open our hearts and search and confess, and all the things we've done on this day, the more we've done it, I think the more depleted we feel. I know we all have stretched, we have journeyed to places in the soul, high or deep, whatever the metaphor is that you prefer. We have reached up to heaven and delved into the depth of our souls. And now I think our hearts are wide open, and we have hopefully succeeded in articulating our feelings and emotions, our thoughts, our confession, our pleas. We have confronted our fears. We have confronted our failures, our weaknesses, our frailty. There's this passage in the Unetane Tokef, which talks about how quickly we pass. We're like a passing shadow, it says. And the Talmud says, it's not the passing shadow of a tree as the sun moves. It's a passing shadow of a bird in flight, which is even faster. I think we have acquired a sense of our finitude, and we know we're not here forever. Our time is limited, and we have a lot of work to do in our lives. And so, hoping for another year of life, of health, of strength, of healing, we asked for forgiveness, and we also held on to our dreams, and perhaps even today we were able to dream even better and bigger dreams. We hold on to our hopes and our aspirations to be better and to be more whole as the year begins. So now we come to the end of this journey we have been on together since Elul, and then with Slichot, and of course since Rosh Hashanah last week. These truly awesome and awe-inspiring days. And every day as the sun sets at this time, you can see it through the windows, sun is setting. Always we arrive at this point, I ask myself the same questions always rise within me. Have we truly made the Teshuvah? Are we returning? Are we returning somewhere? Where are we returning? Are we returning home? Where is home? Or are we returning to a new place in the soul? I asked myself, will the burden of regret and guilt be lifted? Have we achieved reconciliation with God, with one another? Has during this day a decision been born within us will we be able to open a new page? One thing is to be here for all these hours with the gorgeous liturgy and the music and this beautiful kahal. Another thing is to walk out these doors. Will we be able to open a new page? Will we live differently than we have until now? Or we will slip back into yesterday's patterns? Is a new wholeness beginning to emerge within us? So this year, as the doors of Yom Kippur close and the doors of a new year open, many of us may be asking, can we realistically hope for a better year? Can we banish despair? Can we banish complacency in our lives, from our lives? Hope is not a given these days. We want to hope desperately. But who can do so genuinely and wholeheartedly without apprehension? We have journeyed spiritually through these 10 days of awe, through these 25 hours almost of Yom Kippur. It's another hour and 10 minutes. And now, we're just about to see the closing of the gates. And so there is one question that I ask myself now. The question: what will we do? What will I do? What will you do? What will we do with our lives? So I'd like to share 3 short texts that have been deeply important to me over the years. I have returned to them time and again in my own spiritual work, during moments of confusion and struggle, when I have felt discouraged, when I was seeking guidance. These teachings have shaped me, and I share them with you in the hope that they may inspire you, guide you, and accompany you as you walk out the doors tonight into a new year. The first teaching is from the late Slonimer Rabbi. Many of you are familiar with this teaching. We've shared it many times here. But I want to share it one more time. The Slonimer Rebbe, Rabbi Shalom Noach Berezovsky, who died a few years ago, he lived in Yerushalayim. He taught like this: since the day the first Adam was created, each person is unique and unlike anyone else. And the person cannot fulfill what another person is meant to fulfill in this world. It follows that each person has their own shlichut, a distinct purpose, a distinct purpose for which they were sent into this world. And no one else can fulfill what that person was sent to fulfill. The beginning of all service, he says, is discovering the particular purpose for which one was sent into this world. And he says, in this respect, the concept of idolatry, in Hebrew it's called avodah zarah, which means literally an alien service. He defines idolatry, alien service, is the service that is alien to that particular person. Indeed, it is possible for someone to serve God all their life, even to achieve great things, and yet never to fulfill the mission for which they came into this world. Never truly answering the question, what does Adonai, your God, ask of you in particular? The funny Yiddish saying that puts it this way: if I'll try to be like you, who will be like me? So I invite each one of us to ask ourselves, what is the purpose of my life? What is my particular service in this world? It is not easy to discern our purpose at any given time. And by the way, at any given time, the purpose changes. We're in motion. God is in motion all the time. And God expects of us different things at different times. So it's not easy to discern our purpose at any given time, but there are moments, and perhaps you felt it today. There are moments when a deep and honest sense of who we are awakens. And we feel a pull into the path of our own purpose. Something sometimes opens, and you hear a voice, or you have a sense or a feeling or something that pulls you into the path that is your path. And you feel, this is what I came to be in the world. The great Hasidic master Rabbi of Pshis said, when I look at the world, I feel as if every human being were a tree growing all alone in the wilderness, and God had no one else to rely on besides that person. And that person had no one else in the world but God to depend on. I think it's a powerful idea and a powerful exercise to do from time to time. Just imagine you're a tree in the wilderness. There's no one else that God has to rely on but you. So what do? What's your purpose? Why did God plant you in that place? Martin Buber wrote, God's all-inclusiveness manifests itself in the infinite multiplicity of the ways that lead to God, each of which is open to one person. Which is your own way to approach and serve God? What is it that can and shall be done only by you? Everyone has in themselves something precious that is in no one else. This precious something in a person is revealed only through the knowledge of that person's own being, the knowledge of that person's essential qualities and inclinations. Knowing ourselves is not easy, but it is essential that we seek that knowledge through reflection, study, prayer, and intimate dialogue with others. And if you are inclined to, with God, through prayer, so that we may understand at any given moment what is truly required of us. The second teaching is from the Talmud. It's a short story. Rabbi Yoshua ben Hanania was once traveling and met a child at a crossroads. He asked the child, which is the way to the town? The boy replied, this way is short and long, and that way is long and short. Rabbi Yoshua took the short and long way. He reached the town quickly, but found his path blocked by gardens and orchards. So he retraced his steps and returned to the boy. He said, my son, did you not tell me that this was the short way? The boy replied, did I not also tell you it is long? We want it short. We want it fast. But there are no shortcuts, no fast tracks. For most of the meaningful things in life, the short way ends up always being long. The short road leads to obstacles and setbacks. The short way is long. The long way is short. There is no magic wand, no fast track, no shortcut that will bring about the change we need, personal or collective. I urge us to invest ourselves in the long path. to do whatever work is required, spiritual or other, seriously, with patience and persistence, and not to be seduced by the easiest, least demanding path. And I think here we've tried to do that. To do that, anything we do, to do it with seriousness, with dedication, with patience, to take the time to learn, not to do the shortcuts, not to pass all the pages quickly and get to the end of the book. What does it help? To do short prayers, to begin and do the prayer, begin and end in half an hour, 45 minutes? Where's the work? So some people have said, it's a little too long. Well, it is a little too long. But it's the only way we do the work, page by page by page by page. There's no other way, there's no shortcuts. You want to go from the beginning to the end of the book? You haven't done anything. And so I urge us, as we walk into the world again after this glorious day, to be willing to invest in the long way, in the thinking, in the study, in the work that it takes to get there. The long way is always short. The short way is always long. The third teaching that I'd like to share, and final teaching I'd like to share, is from the Kotzker Rebbe. This is my most favorite one, and perhaps the most difficult and demanding one. Kotzker Rebbe says all souls descend a ladder from heaven to earth. Once they have arrived, the ladder is removed. But when the souls are bidden to move upward, they are called again and again. So they go about looking for the ladder. Some people give up. For how can one ascend to heaven without a ladder? There are, however, those souls that are resolved not to fail. They throw themselves toward heaven, but fall. They try repeatedly, throwing themselves up, and they fall until they too give up the struggle. Yet wise people maintain that since no ladder is to be found, there is no alternative. What we are called upon to do, we must do. Whatever may happen, we must continue to strive upward until God has mercy and draws us up. In his book, A Passion for Truth, Heschel comments that spiritual growth requires that we exert ourselves fully, striving upward with resilience, never giving up. But our effort alone is never enough. If we keep jumping with courage, with intention, with devotion, our attempts may make us worthy of divine grace. There is no ladder that we can climb step by step. To move beyond the self-centeredness that limits us, to live for a higher purpose, to live with faith, requires a leap. To open ourselves to what is truer than ourselves, greater than our understanding, the faithfulness to keep reaching upward, even when reality is hard or uncertain. And if we keep trying, sometimes there is a moment of grace, and God lifts us up. As we step back into the world after Neila, I pray that we carry this faith with us throughout the year and through these difficult times. Faith in God, faith in ourselves, in one another, and in the possibility of grace, of repair and renewal, and that we remain true to the prayers we have prayed and the spiritual work we have done today. And now we're going to move to the service of Neilah, the last service of this Yom Kippur. And I beg you to not forget that we only have limited time, less than an hour now, to be able to make ourselves worthy of God's grace. And maybe something will open up. Maybe something will open up in us and in the world out there. And maybe there is some reason to hope.